Hello everyone. Welcome to the video on the last week to Christ. My name is Alpesh and I'm going to help you to strategize what needs to be done in the last 7 days before the actual Christ entrance test. Before I enter into what needs to be done in the last 7 days, few things that you need to keep in mind. Remember, this is an exam wherein speed is very important, and since the level of difficulty is also much lower, accuracy is equally important in this test. So my suggestion would be, out of 120 questions, can you attempt somewhere close to 90 to 100 questions? And if your accuracy is 85% or more, you will land up getting the required score for Christ. Now, another important thing that you need to remember while taking the test is, make sure that you do not spend too much time on a particular question. On the first reading, if you realize that this question is something that you have just not understood, leave it. So your decision has to be in that 15 to 20 seconds. Don't spend more than 20 seconds on a particular question if you have not understood. Just leave it, move on, and that is something that you will have to learn. Another big thing is, once in your preparation, you have realized what are your areas of strength. So say for example, questions on percentages. You realize that that is something I don't go wrong. So if you get a question on percentage, make sure that you solve it. That means score big in the areas that you are good with. As I said, a good attempt would be anywhere in the range of 90 to 100 questions, and be flexible on idle attempts. Just as I said, I know I need to attempt 90 to 100 questions. This is an approximate number that I have given based on the last 2-3 years actual Christ entrance test. But be flexible. If the test becomes a little difficult, maybe that 90 attempt would have been a 75-80 questions. If the test is little easier, maybe easier than what you have been getting in the past years, maybe attempting 110 questions would be a good attempt. So be flexible on that manner. Now, the first thing that you need to do throughout this week is, whenever possible, revise your concepts. If possible, make a small book wherein all your rules of grammar are written. Make a small book wherein your concepts of maths or the formulas that you do are written, so that becomes a very quick revision for you. Now, in the last 7 days, my suggestion would be that you should take a minimum of 3 sim tests. So let's say you take those 3 sim tests on the 31st of March, 2nd of April and 5th of April. Please make sure that you do not take any test on 6th of April, 7th being my test day. So 1 day prior to the test, no test. Now, just taking the test is not important. Analyzing your test is very important. So please make sure that you analyze your test on the very same day. So you would have spent 1.5 hours on taking the test. Spend another 1.5 hours to 2 hours on analyzing that test, trying to find out, have I done, what good I have done, what wrong I have done, what wrong I have done, can I avoid doing that in the next test. So analyzing your test is very important. So you will analyze the test in the or on the same day. Now you would have already identified your strong areas and weak areas. Keep 1 day in those last 7 days wherein you can work or practice more questions on areas of your strength, and keep 1 day wherein you will work on your weak areas and solve more questions on them. Time management strategy, very important. Now, one thing that I want you to do is do a little bit of analysis or try doing different things in a test or two. So say for example, maybe in one test, you can pick up all quant questions together or LR questions together and solve them. Maybe in one test, you go from question 1 to question 2 to question 3. That means you go question wise. Try to find out what works for you. If the first strategy works, good enough. If the second strategy works, good enough. So finalize your strategy. Let's say that's one particular day that I have kept, wherein you will do that particular analysis. Let's say on the 3rd of April. You finalize your test strategy, and the next test that you take, which is on 5th of April, you are going to take the test with that strategy that you have finalized. So identify what works for you, do a little bit of trial and error, maybe in 1 or 2 tests, and then finalize your strategy and make sure that the test that you take on the 5th April is with the same strategy that you're going to take it on the 7th of April. One day before the test, as I already said earlier, please do not take that test. What needs to be done on that test is a very light revision. Okay, take as much rest as you can. Okay, another important thing is either you or any of your family members can do a venue check. Go and check the venue. How long does it take to reach there? Okay, either you go or you can send some of your family members to do that. Keep your hall ticket ready and all the necessary documents that are needed on that day. Make sure that everything is ready on the 6th of April. There is nothing that should be left for the test day. And finally, the D-Day, just make sure that you reach on time. Make sure you are confident of the preparation that you have done. So if you are confident about the preparation that you have done, I am sure you will crack the test. So this is the strategy that you should look out. These are the things that you should do in the last 7 days. All the best for your test.